It's time to venture into the Filmverse, a movie fan podcast where we delve into the never-ending recesses. Oh my god, I can't pronounce that word. Recesses of cinema and report our findings. I'm Bryce Payne.
And I'm Mytchel Chandler.
And today on our very first episode of Into the Filmverse, we will be discussing the quote-unquote #1 movie in the world, Tenet, the 1951 Best Picture winner, American in Paris.
Boom. Daniel
Day-Lewis's There Will Be Blood, and Tom Holland's new Netflix film, The Devil All the Time, including mentions and discussions on various films we watched throughout the week. Be sure to join us on Letterboxd, the social network for film lovers, Bryce Payne at Payne Reviews, and Mytchel Chandler at Mitch Reviews. Today, we dive into our thoughts on Christopher Nolan's new blockbuster. We're going to go off the top with some more recent movie news.
Yeah, looks like Johnathon Majors was cast as Kang, rumored to be Kang, in the new Ant-Man 3 movie. I don't know, what did you...
I really don't even know who that is.
Honestly, I didn't know who it was either, but I did see he was in Defy Bloods, so I'm normally watching that.
I'll watch that soon. So,
you should know who he is.
I didn't watch the Five Bloods for him. I watched it for fucking Chadwick Boseman.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to watch it for, because, of course, his recent passing, but... yeah, I probably plan on watching it at some point, but
it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Chadwick Boseman doesn't really do much in it, but he's a good actor for what he does.
What do you think about him might be Kang?
I don't want it to be true, because I feel like every single time, every time a person's cast in a new Marvel movie, they always grasp at the straws, oh, this is going to be this character, this is going to be this character,
right?
It could literally just be a general, just some random guy.
But if he is Kang, do you think he's going to be the new Thanos, or do you think it's just going to be?
It won't be a one-off, because if he is Kang, I think they'll have him in it and just be gone for a couple movies, and he'll come back and slowly work his way back up.
Yeah, because that would suck if he just was in there and then was just I'm Kang, and then that was it. Because I feel like that could be such a wasted character for just to be an Ant-Man 3. But I've also heard that
not only that, but Ant-Man 3, they're gonna put
Ant-Man 3. But I've also heard that it's gonna be they might introduce the Fantastic Four and the X-Men in this one. Well, I just heard the rumors of that. I'm not really sure if it's true.
Oh, dude, my favorite rumor of the Fantastic Four is that they were competitors of Hank Pym in the 60s, and they got stuck in another dimension, and that's how they got that's why they come back all of a sudden, is because we've been trapped here. But it's there's been no mention of these people for 70 years.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like the X-Men, or not the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, you can really introduce them anyway in the MCU, because they're not really, they just have powers.
It's not like X-Men with mutants.
That, I have no idea how they're going to bring that in, because I feel like it's just cheap just to do the multiverse and be they've just been in another universe all the time, but they don't have the precedent with the rest of the characters, or, they don't have that world established in all the rest of the, just like the X-Men are.
It's like Blade. I have a tough time believing that vampires just are roaming the streets.
Yeah, it's just in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just vampires everywhere.
But also, at least for that one, it's an underground thing anyway, so it makes sense. For just to
I can see that Doctor Strange for the multiverse, if he was if he introduced Blade and all that in there, because I could see that. That wouldn't be a huge issue, because but the whole thing with X-Men, just how much the history they have.
They're oh yeah, Logan, he was born in the 1700s, but we just haven't seen him. Kids can blow up schools, but we haven't.
Whatever they do, though, they have to bring Ryan Reynolds as a Deadpool back. I know we got off topic here, but
okay. So speaking of Ryan Reynolds, this is my favorite thing. It's now they're saying he might not even be playing the same Deadpool.
Oh, well, okay. I don't care if he's playing a Deadpool. I don't care, as long as his mouth's not shut. I don't care.
You don't want to go back to those days, dark days.
The dark days, exactly. Yeah, but overall, I mean, I'll have to check out a few more movies for Johnathon Majors to know whether I'm excited for this.
I feel like I reckon. I'm gonna look him up real quick on Letterboxd. I feel like I've seen it in something.
Speaking of Letterboxd, don't forget to follow me at Mitch Reviews, but Mitch with a Y, so it's MYTCH. And Bryce at Payne Reviews.
John Majors, and I think I'm gonna spell the whole fucking.
Well, it's Jonathan. I think he goes by Johnathon Majors.
That's annoying.
But I was why is there so many Johns in Hollywood right now? There's John Boyega, John Majors.
If you're
John
not named
Travolta, not John Travolta. What's the other guy? It's John. I said it earlier. It's John Majors, John Boyega, and John Washington, in Tenet, which we'll be talking about soon.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, he was in The Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Wait, is that a new one?
It's not new. It's just his highest rated.
Oh.
But yeah, I actually own that. I actually really want to watch that. I've been meaning to. About the same time I bought Sorry to Bother You. And after watching Sorry to Bother You, I just never got around to that.
So that film, I actually gave it to my mom and dad. Or not my mom and dad. My mom and her fiance. And They hated that film. I was like, I watched it and I was like, what the fuck is this film? I love it. And then I gave it to him to watch and they're like, this was terrible. Why did you give us this?
You're like, it's not terrible. It's just weird.
Just
honestly, I was like an hour in and I was like, this is pretty good. This is a pretty good film. And then it was just like
that 180.
Yeah,
horse dick.
Out of nowhere.
Which honestly, no, even if you have never watched the film Horse Dick, you'll understand when you get to it.
But the best thing is, I had a coworker, right, and he was like I was telling him I wanted to watch this, and he was like, "Yeah, man, it's a really good movie. You'll love it." And I was like, "Oh shit, this is like get a really good glowing recommendation, right?" And then I came back to work like after I watched it, and I was like, "You fucking bastard! Like, you could have given me a warning or something."
Yeah, no, it's just honestly, it's like. What other film we watched? It was just that 180. It was recently the British film. I always forget the name of that.
God, is it the Full Monty?
No, not the Full Monty. The other one with it was the pub crawl.
Oh, The World's End.
The World's End. Yeah, it was just like that complete 180. I was just like, what is happening? I don't understand.
Also, that like made it worse for you too. You're like, I just wanted a pub crawl movie.
Honestly, they said it was so for me, and plus I was falling asleep the whole time. But that's just me.
Way off topic. Anyway, Johnathon Majors was reportedly cast as Kang, quote unquote.
But he is cast in Ant-Man 3, but yeah,
he's
quote unquote.
Cast, they just haven't revealed what he's going to be. I don't want to be Kang, but that's just me.
I don't care if he would be King. I just hope that he's something that's going to be. If he is King, I just hope it's recurring.
I just don't even know who King the Conqueror is. Like I've heard rumors of him, but I have no real clue who he is because like I'm not.
He's a time traveler.
Well, I know that, but I thought he was like a person from the future that comes back to evade the past, right?
That's all. Actually, all I know is he's a time traveler. I don't really know much else besides that. No, I think he like tries to balance time, or he makes sure time doesn't get messed with. Which I guess that's what Captain America did, and that's the last one. So, what if King the Conqueror like makes Captain America like turn back into a regular Captain America instead of being old?
Oh,
he rips him out of.
Chris Evans already fucked his chance in the MCU over.
Yeah, but it wasn't his fault. It was an accident, okay? You know what?
Okay, but think about how Disney reacts to things like John Boyega's like boycotting Star Wars right now, and they're like, anyway, here, look, we got more properties coming out, more movies, and John Boyega's like, bruh.
That's fine. I think he's just more of like taking political stances on stuff. Not necessarily political, just a strong stances on how he feels and stuff. I don't think studios and stuff like that image of people that take strong stances.
They don't want people shitting on them.
Well, not necessarily sitting on them, but I just think it's taking strong stances. But even though I feel like as an actor with your own work, I feel like you should be able to like say how you feel about it. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
Especially when you're not under contract anymore. You're like, I have the freedom to do this.
Yeah, I mean, he did his obligation to the movies. He stayed quiet while he was doing the movies and made good business. So like afterwards, if he wants to say whatever he wants about it, he can.
He's like, fuck Disney. It sucked.
But yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have different thoughts on that. But
so I heard
speaking of news,
I heard you watched the new Dune trailer.
I did actually. It was actually our next topic. So great transition. As far as I honestly, I don't know. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't like what I was expecting.
I have not seen the trailer yet. I have been lacking on that.
Have you seen? Oh, you haven't seen the. Okay. Have you seen?
I saw the one we saw in theaters back when we watched Tenet.
Okay, that's fair.
But that's it. And that was like a teaser. It wasn't even it. But like, I love Timothée Chalamet, so I was like, oh shit, he's gonna be the lead. But then like, you're telling me now that like you're not impressed. So I'm like,
well, okay. So the whole thing is, I've just heard so much like that Dune is like the science fiction thing to watch, and I just
it's from the fucking like 70s or something.
Yeah, thing to watch, or it's like it was a book first, and people were like
1984. It was released in 1984.
Okay, fair.
The first
and
movie.
but that's like some of people's like favorite sci-fi stuff, and I was just looking at it. I was kind of dry. I don't know. I mean, I know it's based on a desert island, but as far as just like the movie, I was like, I don't know, but I will give it my full. I'm
going to give it a complete chance.
Yeah, of course.
Timothée Chalamet. I've only seen the first time I saw him was in Little Women, which you recommended, which I finally watched. And
right.
Was like, holy shit, he's really good. But then he kept like popping up in movies I was watching, like Lady Bird, Call Me by Your Name. Like that was a weird fucking movie. I thought it was a little dull, but that's not on topic at all. It's just a good movie. But Oscar Isaac's going to be in Dune.
He's Oscar Isaac. Why is that so funny?
Oh
yeah, damn.
Dameron. Josh Brolin.
You know, I'm so mad that John Boyega and Oscar Isaac. I'm so mad that they didn't get together in that film. I was so mad because like the whole time they had this romance going on, and then at the end they're just like, no, Paul can have his girlfriend, and I'm like, no, but that ship though.
But then they have like Dave Bautista, Zendaya, fucking.
Okay, I'm not excited for Dave Bautista. I'll be honest with you.
Jason Momoa's cast in this.
Zendaya is cool. Jason Momoa is iffy. I know he's Aquaman, but he's just iffy. I feel like. I don't know. As a Dothraki, he's great.
Rebecca Ferguson's in it. She was in Doctor Sleep. That was a really good movie.
I'm excited to see more about it with Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, yeah, I fucking love it.
He was supposed to be Spider-Man before. He was number 3.
Yeah, he tried.
Yeah.
My problem is a lot of people are now shitting on it because they're like, they shouldn't be trying to force Timothée Chalamet down everyone's throat. Like, he's the next big action star.
I know. No, that's Tom Cruise when he's going to space with Tesla. That's with Elon Musk. And filming that's gonna be crazy. That'd be a fun story to talk about.
Also been cast in The French Dispatch by Wes Anderson. That was supposed to come out this year, but COVID fucked up.
That's the one you were. Those are the movies you were showing me with like.
Yeah, with Wes Anderson with like
the Fox or the
Fox,
the Fantastic Mr. Fox. And then wasn't there was that ship movie? I forgot.
The
with,
Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou. I can't believe we were not so impressed by that. I'm so depressed by that.
Like, they were bad, but they were like,
Wes
what
Anderson
are the
movies are whack.
They
I fucking love them. I've seen look at my fucking. It's 93% of his filmography watched because I haven't seen The French Dispatch.
Oh my god, that's a lot.
I love him. But no, I hope Dune's good because there's this guy at work who's read the book, watched the movie. He's a big fan. He's telling me, he's like, man, I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for it. I'm like, I don't fucking know what it's about. I don't care. It's like, it looks interesting. I don't know. Like, I have no clue what it's going to be about. I know there's like giant worms.
I guess that's our millennial talking. I mean, I expect it to be somewhat decent. I mean, that's what I hope any movie is to be somewhat decent. I don't really usually go into movies expecting anything because as long as I expect nothing, usually it's better than nothing. So
I totally expect things every time I get one.
It's just like, I don't care. I have expectations. It better be good. Like,
well, dude, like, Tenet?
Yeah, speaking of Tenet.
I'm really excited for Tenet.
That was the most recent movie we've seen in theaters.
Oh, shit, hold
NDA. And
damn NDAs.
Damn NDAs. I know we can't talk about a certain something, but
NDAs. Get sued for $1 million.
Just bleep out everything we say with NDA.
$10 million. I think it was like.
It was like $1 million or something like that.
$1 million. Like, damn, you guys really want to protect this anyway.
But anyways, I won't say what we saw, but we saw a special screening of something, but we can't talk about that. So we're going to talk about Christopher Nolan's new time warping movie, Tenet. Overall, I thought it was okay. It mainly...
I really want to watch it again, because I feel like if I watch it again, I'd catch more.
See, I feel that, but because you said that when we left the theater, but I was also like, yeah, but I feel like if I have to see a movie again, it didn't do its job. Like, if I had to see a movie again to understand it, like, if I wanted to see a movie again just because I wanted to see it again, that's what, like, it did its job for sure.
My thing is, I understood it. I was like, left the theater, I was explaining to you and Jada about what was going on.
I was like, I think halfway through the movie, I kind of was just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of like, gonna sit here and enjoy the ride. I
was like, yeah, okay. I was like starting to guess things like halfway through. I was like, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. All right. And it just kept flowing. I was like, yep, definitely. Yep. Still on track. And then the movie ended. I was like, I bet if I rewatch it, I will catch some things. I will notice more.
But I'm going to read my review from Letterboxd just because
it's already written.
Just because it's already written, and I know I wrote it down some here, and it might sound a little rough, but anytime you deal with the time travel aspect, you have to set your own ground rules and explain it to the audience so that they can follow along what's happening. Tenet purposely set their ground rules throughout key moments in the movie, assuming the viewer would keep up. And while the concept itself is not difficult to grasp, the understanding of the actions it presents is hard to comprehend/perceive. The scenes happen so quickly that by the time they're over, I was left breathless, but overwhelmingly confuzzled. It also had a long runtime, while continuously entertaining was tedious nonetheless. The movie didn't really ramp up until about an hour into it, and intriguing. It was an intriguing hour, mind you, but the promise of the time inversion/manipulation didn't really come into play until then. Imagine source code meets Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase meets Inception having gin and tonics with James Bond. That's pretty much how I'd imagine this, or say this movie is. It's just a very hodgepodge of a movie that I enjoyed overall, but I was also like, I still don't know.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't remember any of the people's names in the movies. I know
the actors' names. Robert Pattinson, John Washington, but like.
I can't tell you who they played.
Was their actors' names? No. I mean, it's probably because it was so hard. I mean, okay. So we didn't have this issue, and I feel like that was because of the theater we were in. But I know a lot of people have been arguing, or been talking about how it's had like audio mixing issues. and said they couldn't even hear what the actors were saying. So that could have been a
I
part
had
of
that
it.
issue when they had accents, like the people with the French accents, and they'd be wearing their masks. It was like, hello! And they sound like Bane. And that was just hard to hear because they had the accents with the mask. But, no, I really enjoyed it. But can we just talk about how fucking cool Gilderoy Lockhart was in that movie?
I feel like every time you pointed him out, I was like, "What?" I keep forgetting because he doesn't look like him.
It was like he played.
Was the Russian dude or
he was the main antagonist, dude.
Yeah, he was the dude that was like
Russian.
Yeah,
but it's so weird to watch.
But he doesn't look like him at all.
We just watched Murder in the Orient Express, and I was like, hey man.
Which was also boring. I was so disappointed with that film. I was looking so much forward to it, and I actually didn't. When it came out in theater, I didn't go watch it because my dad went to the theater and told me it wasn't that great, and I was like, all right, I guess I won't go. But then, which I don't know why I listened, because usually my dad has different tastes in movies than I usually do, somewhat.
Same. My dad has the shittiest taste in films. He literally thinks like the worst films are the best films. It makes me so upset every time. I'm like, Infinity War was really good.
Speaking of like,
no, it's shit. No.
Dads in films, like what movie I need to see that I think a lot of like, I wouldn't say older generation, but like parents I think is awesome is Highlander, and I haven't seen it yet. I tried watching.
I've seen the show, man.
That's a show?
Yeah, it had a show in the 80s.
That's whack. I did not know that.
So my dad was a huge fan of that show, and I actually he let me watch it. And I might actually seen a couple of the movies. But yeah, Highlander was a TV show.
No, because they say Highlander is like the greatest film ever, and then Highlander 2 is the worst film ever. I was like, how do you go from the best to the worst? Who does that?
Oh, it's very simple with this because like they had Highlander the series from 1992 to 1998. And it was just like a whack fucking show, but I remember like every single time they had to decapitate each other because that's how they like take their power. Yeah, it's just these fucking modern day times. These people walking with fucking giant ass swords and basically fighting on the person, be like, "You, I need your power.
I need your head, boy."
They're all immortal, invincible people, and the only way to kill them is by cutting off their heads.
That sounds like some creative stuff.
And when they cut off their heads, they absorb all their power. So the goal is to kill all the other people and become the most powerful.
Wow.
It's fucking whack, man. This shit's crazy.
That's the TV show?
That's the TV show. I'm pretty sure the movies do it too, but I've never seen the movie.
Well, that's something we need to do.
Because like, I think I own it.
I just thought it was like when I tried watching like 5 minutes of it, and he was like in a parking lot of like a sports stadium, like a parking garage, and he was fighting some dude with swords, and I was like, what is going on? And I kind of just like tuned out. I didn't really. I stopped it.
It's fucking crazy. Like, God, I can't even. Oh, I can't even remember what it. Like, I'm trying to find what the series is about. This has nothing to do with Tenet, but I don't care.
Fair, you're right. It doesn't.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm enjoying this.
That's why we venture into the Filmverse.
Yeah, so it's like they lived. Like the dude's been alive for 400 years and was one of many immortals in the world. He's come to ask Duncan to return to the game to fight the side of good and evil. The game was used in the term to describe their hunting of one another.
Wow.
By beheading their opponents, Duncan had been hiding from other immortals. Yeah,
you have been beheaded.
It's literally just a bunch of people like running around with swords, cutting each other's heads off. It's fucking hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
It makes me so happy. And the show's really good, but I don't know, like what's that? John Washington, right? That's who played the main character in Tenet.
Yeah.
This is my first time I've seen him. I think in like movie.
I think so too. Yeah.
And he like blew me away. He was like so good.
Yeah, he was really good. I was like, how did I not see this dude before? But I guess Christopher Nolan has good for picking out stuff. I'm pretty sure I know why he made this movie, man. Why?
He did Inception, which was fucking amazing.
He wanted to make a movie that everybody had to see twice. Is that what you're going to say?
He sat there and he was like, yeah, I can make something crazier.
I can make something crazier. No. His idea was like, I want to make a movie where like people have to go to the theater to see it twice.
God damn, we're gonna make our $200 million.
Right, exactly.
Although as of right now, the box office only made $207 million, which makes theaters look like shit.
Yeah, I know it's really not good for the theater situation right now. Of course, because of the pandemic.
Poor theaters.
And then Black Widow says it's might get a push again.
Wonder Woman.
I'm like, well, yeah, Wonder Woman did push, and I was like, no. Man, that hasn't pushed yet, has it?
I think it might have.
I don't think it did, because that came out in December, like December 24th, 20-something.
November 20th.
It better not have pushed yet.
Right now it still says November 20th, but they're probably going to push it.
If they push Black Widow, they're probably going to push.
There's no way they're going to let James Bond go in if they're not going to let Black Widow.
Oh, that sucks so much. I just want to see movies.
What's that one? There's like one studio. I think it's Sony. Yeah, Sony's like, we're not releasing any movies until the
pandemic. Yeah, they did. Well, they pretty much did say that, yeah.
It's like...
What do they have?
Morbius.
But then also they don't have it. But they also don't have any movies coming out till like next May when it probably is solved anyway. So, they kind of push their stuff far enough in advance.
My problem with this, though, is I'm like, you guys are releasing the PS5. You guys can afford to release your fucking
kind of like what Universal did with Fast 9. They pushed NDAs. Anyways, so with our thoughts on Tenet out of the way, let's move on to our weekly movie night movie. Each Monday, we gather a bunch of our friends together and watch an Oscar-winning Best Picture film, alternating between the older and newer years.
With a pick movie once in a while.
Great.
Those are going to be a little weird because we're going to go like 1951's Best Picture, and then next week will be 2015's Best Picture, and it's going to be some random movie.
Just a random movie we'll talk about, exactly. But this week, we watched the 1951 Best Picture winner, American in Paris. Bryce, do you want to start out and let me know what you thought about it?
He ended up with the wrong woman.
Fair. Yep, that was pretty much the gist of the movie.
That was so upsetting because I was like, okay, so there's like these three guys in Paris. One's a Paris dude, and the other two are like American, right? Like I'm pretty sure they're both American.
I think the main protagonist was American, right?
Yeah, he was American. I think Adam was also American.
You remember his name? How did you do that?
I only remember Adam because he's my favorite character in the whole movie. I don't remember anybody else, but I remember Adam, and it's only because like this one scene where like Henry, the French dude's name was Henry.
Henry Cavill.
And it was Henry, Adam, not and the main character. I think what's his name? It's gonna bother me now.
I'm not sure.
And Henry, Adam, and this other dude who I'm looking up right now about his name. He's played by Gene Kelly.
Oh yeah, you like that guy a lot.
I love Gene Kelly. He's such a good actor. And I had never seen American in Paris, so
I was just disappointed in the musical aspect of it because I was like, okay, if you're gonna call yourself a musical, don't just have like so it wasn't like sing and dance. It wasn't like a lot of singing. It was mostly just like dancing.
Tap dancing?
Well, I like tap dancing mostly because it's like and Gus, but as far as like the music, it was just like instrumental music and dancing. Like that's all the majority of the music scenes were, and it was also like they were like 5 minutes each. And then there was like this whole 20-minute last act that was Jerry.
Gene Kelly played a guy named Jerry. Okay, so my favorite scene in the movie was so funny because Henry and Jerry are going after the same girl, which makes no sense because Jerry has Milo, and Milo is like this rich, like supportive, like she's really into him. You know, at least to me it seemed like she was really into him. Maybe she was just like, we can be friends, bro. But I thought that she was really into him. And then he was like, I don't want to say using her because he's like, I'll pay you back. You know, he's trying to keep things civil. But like, she basically like is like, you know, I'll give you a studio, I'll support your habit. I think you're really good at this. Like, loving and supportive. And then he's like, here's this 18-year-old French girl that let me go try to bang. And then Henry's dating the French girl because I guess he protected her during World War II. And then, like, they're sitting at this table, and Adam's in the middle, and he's like talking to Jerry, and he's like, yeah, so you really like a girl, huh? Yeah. What's her name? Oh, it's that girl. Oh, yeah. No, I don't know who that is. And then Henry comes in and he's like, man, I'm going to marry this girl I'm seeing. They're like, Jerry's like, oh, man, good job. Yeah, that's so great. And Adam's just sitting there like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
I mean, so for those of you who don't know anything about American Paris, it's basically the premise is an American man is in Paris and on
a scholarship for art.
Yeah, on a
scholarship for art is failing.
Yeah, and his art is failing, and so this random blonde, like really cute looking girl. She looks like she's rich.
Yeah, she's rich. She has her own car, her own mansion, kind of thing.
And she comes by and is like, "Yo, I'll help you out," and he was like, "No," and then she's like, "Yeah," and he was like,
"I'm not an escort."
Right? Exactly. He's like, "I'm not an escort," and she's like, "Well, no, duh. I like your art," and he's like, "But it's not good," and she's like.
I think it's good.
So, yeah, I think it's good. He's like, all right, fair. And then he just starts hitting on some random woman at like a boutique shop.
No, they went on the date.
Oh yeah, but he didn't know it was a date. It was okay. Yeah, it was like, silly.
Let me take you on a date, and he's like, I'm going to talk to that girl with her. And she's like, maybe next time I should go on a date and try to get with another woman.
And then somehow he turned it on her that it was her fault. Like he's like, I'm just getting out then. I'm like, what the? I was like, bro. I was like, you were on a date with a hot, rich, smart girl. How do you mess that up?
And then he follows that girl to her fucking house.
No, he like goes
to her work, and he's like, we just got off on the wrong foot. I'm really not that bad. I'm like,
I know.
Like, that's manipulative.
Like, and not only that, she just seems so uncomfortable with the whole situation. She's like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't want this guy.
I guess I'll go on a date with you. And then they fall in love?
I know. It was just like the whole rest out. I'm just like, why are they together? This is not right. And then the lady's just like, I wish you would me. And then
Henry gets ready to marry the girl. Spoilers, by the way, like extreme spoilers.
Sorry. I mean, I'm sure nobody is going to watch American in Paris from you guys, but
just
spoilers.
And like he goes he tells like that girl, I can't remember her name, the short redhead girl. He's like, I love you, and she's like, yeah, I'm getting married, and he's like,
wait, Annie?
No, her name's not Annie. It's
I know, I was just talking about the orphan from. Mr. Warbucks.
He tells her like, I love
Daddy
you, and she's
Warbucks.
like, well, I'm getting married. I can't. And then she's like, but if it means anything, I love you too. I'm like, why the fuck
would you say
like,
that?
What fuck? And then he goes like back to Milo, and he's like, I'm really sad. Like I'm in a really good mood. I'm not sad. Everything's great. Let's go to this party. And then he like sees Henry and like the girl, and he's like awkwardly says hello. That's mine.
I just grabbed his water box. He's like, thanks for telling me. I just forgot.
He goes to this party. He's like, meets the redhead with Henry. And then he's like, yeah, nice to meet you. We've never seen each other again. And then like, this is like another one of my favorite parts. Anything with Adam was just fucking hilarious. Milo goes over to like, Adam's like being a bartender, and he's like talking shit about like, oh yeah, his sponsor is a real dumbass. Like, she don't know shit. We can get that. But he's like, man, his sponsor is real stupid bitch. Like, she doesn't know anything about him or anything. Like, she's being dumb with him. And she's like, well, I'm his sponsor. And he's like, yeah, I know. And then walks away. And I was like, damn, savage.
My favorite part of the film was the forest. At least I think it was a forest.
But like, this is another part that really upset me. There's a 20-minute dance segment after like the redhead and the guy leave to go like go to America.
That was at the end, right?
Yeah, and then it's just dance segment, and then it was all in his fucking head.
I told you we had to like speed it up because it was so boring. Yeah. Right, okay, but that was the worst thing was because it was just all in his head. That was it.
Nothing actually happened. He's just like
he's like,
it all.
Okay.
And then like it cuts back to like the car pulling back up, and she's like gets out of the car. It's like, oh Jerry, and it's like, oh dude, what are you doing? Like Milo's right there. You don't need her. Like Milo's so loving, supportive, and then like no. Okay.
The forest. Yeah, no, okay, so there's like this whole, at the beginning of the film, there was this scene where they were just like dancing, and I don't know, they were singing on a piano, and then this just random woman comes in the scene, just like this random old woman.
She's like creepy smile too.
Creepy
like,
smile,
like awkward as fuck. She's like
insidious, insidious, like creepy ghost vibes.
And she looks so uncomfortable on that set. Like they just dragged her up and was like, "Hey, you need to be in this scene." And she was like, "Oh," and then like she looked like she didn't belong. Oh, and then they tried to put her in by like dancing with her, and she was just like smiling the whole fucking time.
Like, just imagine if your grandma took out her teeth in the middle of the night and then just showed up in the middle of your room, like just turn on your light and then just was like, hi. That's exactly what it looked like.
She showed up later, and that's when we figured out she was a florist because we
had no idea exactly. She was nobody. She was just like somebody that showed up on set and just walked on the thing, and they were just like, we can't stop shooting. Just go with it.
And like Gene Kelly like grabs her, looks like he's trying to like get her off, and she's like dragging her the other way. And he's like, okay,
just go back this way. He's like, I'm not singing again. I'll tell you that right now.
Gene, we need to reshoot this. Like, nah, man, I ain't doing it again. Like, you know how much work that was? I'm good. We're done. Just throw her in some other scene. So she shows up later in the background, staring straight at the camera with this creepy ass smile on her face.
Surrounded by a bunch of kids, I think. Too. Weren't the kids there, or is that the same scene?
I can't remember. I just know that he was like walking by, and she was just like in the florist shop with flowers, just staring at the camera with a creepy fucking smile.
I know. It was weird. Well, with our thoughts on American in Paris out in the Filmverse.
Well, what did you give American in Paris?
I'll be honest, I think I gave it 2 stars.
I gave it 2.5.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. So 2 stars for me means could be better.
Or maybe I gave it 3.5. I don't actually remember. Maybe I gave it 3.5 because I was like, I'm more forgiving than you are.
You are. I think you gave it a 2.5. If I remember correctly.
I might have given it a 2.5.
But yeah, no, I gave it a 2.5 or a 2, just a 2 because 2 means could be better. It wasn't a terrible movie, but it just was like
I gave it 3.5.
You did. Fair. I remembered it wrong.
That's fucking wrong. I'm going to take it down to 3 at least.
He's like, that's wrong after talking about it again.
Now that I'm remembering, it doesn't deserve that. What'd you give Tenet?
I want to say a 3. I should have said that. And 3 means a good movie for me.
I gave it 4. Mainly because it's not a section.
Yeah, I gave it 3. Yeah, Inception level, well, okay, but like Inception level at home is like a 3. Inception level in the movie theater in D-Box, that's like a 4, maybe a 4.5. I don't know.
Well, for my first time watching Inception in D-Box, that shit was amazing. God, what else did we talk about?
But
we talked about Dune, so that wasn't...
We talked about Dune, yeah, but... so with our thoughts on American in Paris out into the Filmverse, we now move on to the movies we watched today. Today we did a double feature of Daniel Day-Lewis's There Will Be Blood and Tom Holland's new Netflix film, The devil of all time.
Did you think these two were going to flow together as well as they did?
I did not. Okay, really didn't. Like they both had heavy Christian priest themes that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, do that. Okay, so Paul Dano in There Will Be Blood. So There Will Be Blood. Let's discuss that first.
Yeah,
before
exactly.
we just compare the movies.
That's fair.
So There Will Be Blood. I had been wanting to watch because I'm trying to watch all the nominees for Best Picture, like ever. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this anyway. So we decided to watch it. And bam, dude, this was like 2 hours of boring, and like this dude just being a complete jackass like the entire time. Mm-hmm. And like he basically just sat there. He was like, "I'm here for oil. Give me that oil.
Give me your oil, boy." And he like, oh my god, what if wait, Michael Rooker should have played that role. He was like, "Give me your oil, boy." Oh, the Michael Rooker story I have. Oh, I have to tell you guys that sometime.
Michael Rooker just has to be in everything because his voice just is so funny in every serious role.
Goobly, goobly, goobly. I love it so much.
But no, it's like Daniel Day-Lewis plays this oil prospector who like buys up a bunch of land from this like Christian family whose son is like a preacher, and like basically like shits on the whole fucking town. And it's basically like, I own fucking everything. Fuck your morals.
I own you.
And like the preacher's just like doing his thing, cut a deal, try to get $5,000, which I mean in 1912 was worth a lot of fucking money. I guess it was after 1912 or something like that.
What was it we were talking about? It was $1.
It was $1 for like a tip in their
oh yeah, it's like you gave him $1. That was like you gave him $1 for a tip. You're like, wow.
$1.
That's amazing. And I was like, he's like, are you for a cup of coffee? That's it. And I was like, for a cup of coffee, we'd be paying like a $5 tip. $5 tip and a $5 coffee. That's $10, please.
Daniel Day-Lewis's character, who I can't remember the name of because I just didn't care. I think his name was Daniel. I'm pretty sure his name was just Daniel.
Oh, no, it was. Oh, for Daniel Day-Lewis, yeah.
It was
Paul Dano's character was Paul because I was like,
his brother he played was Eli.
Right.
But like we were just sitting there, we're like, what's your name? Paul. We're like, you fucking named his character Paul.
Paul, his name is Paul.
And then Daniel Day-Lewis is Daniel. It's like, really, you guys
cheaters.
You guys were really imaginative with those names, weren't you?
What if they made the characters first and then just pull out those actors? That would be even funnier.
They're just like, yeah, we got to cast a new Harry Potter. We need someone named Harry Potter. They probably exist now.
Probably. Oh, yeah, it definitely does.
You got people named Hermione all over the place. But no, so it's an oil prospector who buys all this land for this town, starts shitting on this preacher and his family, basically like use them, drains all the oil from this place, and fucking berates his son for his son like going deaf, which he caused.
Exactly. Yeah, his son goes. Well, okay, so spoilers again. Sorry, but
there's gonna be spoilers all the time.
I drank your milkshake. Speaking of that, if you've heard that before but didn't know what it was from, it's this movie. So I drink it up,
dude. I don't know. I didn't really get good to the last 30 minutes. Like nothing happened.
That's what I'm saying. I think
hours.
The most fun or the most interesting prospect, sure, of that movie was really just the father and son relationship, but that didn't really develop.
And he threw him away on a train like halfway through the film.
Yeah, and it just kind of he just disappeared, and it was like for like an hour, 45. Yeah, exactly, 45 minutes, an hour.
And then when he shows back up, he's like adult. Yeah. Like a little bit of him being a kid and him being like, "Look, I got my son back in your face, jackasses."
And then he just kind of like spits in his face, like his son's face.
Yeah, son's like, I want to be my own man, Dad. I'm deaf. I want to do my own thing. I'm married. Let me go like be my own man. I want to be an oil man. Like,
but I still want you to love me as a father. Like
you're my dad. I want you to like be there for me. And his dad's like, "Fuck you, boy. I ain't your daddy." It's like, dude, you raised this kid since he was a baby, and you're gonna be like, "I'm not your dad." Like, that's not how that shit works.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know. His character wasn't even likable. I don't know.
And he's basically
a lot of people really like this movie,
Scrooge.
But he was. It was a great performance, though.
Yeah,
I'll admit
actor,
that.
Like, holy shit.
I'll admit that. But at the same time, it was like almost like I didn't like the character so much that I also didn't even care. Like,
yeah, I was like, this character could get raped in the middle of the night, and I probably didn't matter. Like, I don't know, whatever.
Speaking of rape in the middle of the night, Tom Holland's Netflix film, The Devil of All Time, and Robert Pattinson and his priestess. Yeah, I don't know. So Robert Pattinson. We watched
this movie literally like 30 minutes ago. We finished it.
We did, yeah, exactly. And Robert Pattinson, he plays this priest in this movie, and he just takes advantage of all these girls, and it's just messed up.
Dude, he fucks everybody. Like everyone. Scene in the car where he's like eating the girl out, and then he gets up and like wipes his face, like throws the fucking thing away.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But it's really weird that we just watched
what I want for my Batman. Oh, I know, right? And the Batman trailer, and just like, stop it, Batman, stop it.
the fellatio scene where he's like pushing the girl down on his dick while he's at home. And
Oh
you
my
see
gosh.
that gut, and I'm just like, man, that's our Batman right there.
That's our Batman right there. I was like, that's the dude that doesn't want to work out. You're in quarantine guy right there.
How are you keeping in shape? I'm not.
He's like, I'm not. Tacos, anyone?
But no, okay, so
Tacos? I really didn't realize the thing I just did there. Okay.
this movie had such an amazing cast. Like,
did.
holy shit.
And they all just kind of, well, I don't know.
Like, everyone's kind of doing their own thing.
I guess we sort of did spoilers. No, I'm not going to do spoilers for this one. Well, I can't, I guess. I don't know. I was like, but they all just died anyways. All the actors. So as soon as they came in, they just like, bang, dead, bang, dead. And Tom Holland, it was like, see, okay, well, I like Tom Holland, but at the same time, I still don't know if he's a good actor. Like, I know he's a good actor, but I just don't know if he's like...
He can get past the MCU.
The MCU, because like, okay, because he is the Spider-Man, right? But at the same time,
it's
and
hard.
he is good in this one, and he's starting to break that mold a little bit, but at the same time, I just haven't seen anything where it's like Robert Pattinson, where I know he can go from The Lighthouse to, I don't know, Tenet, to freaking Batman, to a sexual predator priest, and it just like click with on every level.
Speaking of Robert Pattinson, did you hear about his filming the scenes in the lighthouse? That's just funny as hell.
I did not hear about that.
He basically, like, in order to do, like, he has a masturbation scene in that movie, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
In order to do that, he actually was, like, masturbating.
Ew, no.
And so basically it was just the cast filming him getting himself off in complete silence. And it was like his second day of filming.
That's dedication.
They showed up on set, and the director's like, "Hey, man, we're doing your masturbation scene."
Fuck yourself.
And he sat there in full seriousness.
He shows up
back in his dick.
He shows up, and the guy hands him a bottle of lotion. He's like, "All right,
Like, get to work.
Get to work.
What are we paying?
This is your job." No, see, okay, but that's
really crazy.
That's weird. It's weird, but when you say it like that, but also, I mean, people have sex scenes all the time, you know, in movies.
Well, like, they're not actually doing.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, but they still have to get naked and stuff. That
fucking going, yeah, for the movie.
I mean, I don't know. Did he decide that it was his decision he was going to do that, or did like?
I'm pretty sure he was like,
that's all creepy. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of
into this.
I mean, you got weirdos like Jared Leto, or like I think.
He'd go too much in the method.
Yeah, I think he sent a dead rat or something to
and he would walk
Margot Robbie's house like a weirdo
around New York City and be like doing the Joker voice. You see what freaks out, and then,
I was like, what kind of laugh is that, bro? Stop it.
But no, Robert Pattinson, I feel so bad for him because I feel like most people don't like trust his acting performances anymore.
I know. They'll get over it. It'll happen.
Literally
soon,
just because he was in Twilight. They're like, that's the Twilight.
Well, like, every single buddy, like every time anybody's casted that like you wouldn't expect, they're like, oh, that guy that did that, because like Hugh Jackman, but when he was cast in X-Men, yeah, first X-Men, they were like, because they said he was too short, because he was in I think some Broadway plays, and they were like, what, like a Broadway guy? I think even Heath Ledger had some heat for whatever.
Heath Ledger had a lot of heat. A lot of people were like, really, the dude from A Knight's Tale is going to be Joker?
Right. Well, that's what everybody brings up when people say this. And I'm sure there are some people that will just stick to their like, oh, Robert Pattinson's Twilight, that's whatever. But a lot of people will come around to it.
But it's just sad because like he's done so many movies since Twilight that are so good.
I know.
And everyone's just like, nah, man, that's a Twilight boy. It's like, yes, that's a Twilight, but he also was in like Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
That's why Twilight was somewhat good, though.
He's the only one that carried that movie.
He did. You think Bella? What was her name? Kristen Stewart. You think Kristen Stewart carried that movie? She's like, she was just in.
She just looked away in the distance the entire movie. Like
she did. She was just also in Charlie's Angels, and she has not improved much. I'll tell you that.
She can't get down with the director.
she can't. Oh my god, that's terrible.
Well, that's what she did with Snow White and the Huntsman.
That's true. I didn't know
that. Was her affair. She had an affair with the director.
Did she really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. People
fucking shamed her for that. They were like, really? You're going to fuck the director in your movie? And she was just full on doing it. I think she was dating Robert Pattinson at the time, too.
They dated? I did not know that. That's like TMZ shit. I wouldn't know any of that stuff. I'm curious.
It's literally just because I remember when it happened and reading the news because I was in film class and I was like, man, that shit sounds whack.
So since I don't think I shared it with you yet, I'll have you go first. What did you give There Will Be Blood?
4.5 stars. Wait, no, not 4. Not, I was thinking I'll double all the time.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I gave that movie like 3 stars.
Okay, yeah, I gave it 3 stars too.
Maybe 3.5 because of the final 30 minutes.
I just feel it was really loud a lot of the times for some reason.
Dude, that music overshadowed the dialogue.
Oh, the music. It was like the music they were playing was very dramatic, and it did not feel like it matched the visuals at all. And I was just like, no.
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 Dude, it was like it's like felt like a horror movie the whole time with the music. It was like eerie.
It was like a eerie, like heavy pounding drama music, like, but then also it was just like we're just gonna walk around and like just look dramatic, but we're not gonna actually do anything. Yeah, it's except for the few times, except for the few like
each other all fucking day. Exactly. The only shocking moments was like when the people got killed all of a sudden, because like the dude's in the oil well and then it's just like pipe. It's like, oh shit.
Right. Yeah, meanwhile, there's like two of those scenes too.
Yeah, only like two of them. But Devil All the Time, oh my god, man, that movie held nothing back.
Nothing.
Like Bill Skarsgård for like the 30 minutes he's in the movie, phenomenal. Tom Holland for like the 30 minutes he's in the movie, phenomenal.
Murray.
Robert Pattinson is like creepy as shit. His accent's so weird. He like so soft spoken. It's like, ooh.
I know, but I was like, how does he transform his voice like that from to what we just saw in Tenet to this like priest that he sounds exactly like he's supposed to? Like he doesn't sound awkward.
It's because he's a good actor.
Like Tom Holland seemed like he was sort of out of the place when we saw, we listened to him.
Yeah, like I mean,
a little bit. I feel like at first I feel like
when it's very shocking. I was like, oh my god,
oh, that's not right. It took a second to get into, but like Robert Pattinson, he was just like immediately like I'm into it.
Yeah, it's like it's insane. Everything just fits. Oh my god, Clark. My god, what's his name? The guy who played the serial killer dude. I forget his name. It's like Clark. His last name's Clark. I know that.
You said it earlier. I forgot.
I know. I totally said it earlier. I totally had it memorized before we watched the movie, and then we watched the movie, and I don't remember. But I'll find it. But he was really good for like the little bit he was in. Jason Clarke. He was really good. Sure. Riley Keough, I can't pronounce her name. She played Alice in the Alice in Wonderland Tim Burton movies.
Oh yeah.
She was really good for like the little bit she was in. Sebastian Stan fucking played a villain.
Yeah. I mean,
like a villain. Okay, let's.
No, I understand though, but I'm just like, I don't know. His character was just kind of dull.
Dudley's in this for like 20 minutes.
It's just weird to see him even in movies. Honestly, just now.
Yeah, it's like if you saw Rupert Grint in a movie.
Honestly, if no one told you it was Dudley though,
you would not be.
You would know. Yeah,
because he lost too much weight. He looks too different.
Which is good, I think. Not necessarily the weight, whatever, but I'm just saying good as far as differentiating his character from Harry Potter.
Yeah, and
because like you put Daniel Radcliffe in anything. Well, right after Harry Potter, you can't do anything. But yeah, like you said, you put Rupert Grint in something, it's just gonna be wrong. Like
he's like I cannot remember their names. Emma Watson. I was thinking Elizabeth for some reason. I was like, that's not Elizabeth. That's an E.
So she did a pretty good job of breaking free from all.
I know, but she's now gone into like the whole like I don't want to call it rom-com, but like
she did The Circle.
Yeah, she always plays
like. Did you see that one?
I'm not. I haven't seen it, but she always seems to play like these like frail women characters now, trying to break the mold.
Little
or, like,
Women.
Women, or like I was reading that up. She didn't really do much in there. She's just kind of there for star power.
I could agree with that. No, I really agree with that because I think Florence Pugh and
100%. Timothy Chalamet and Florence Pugh.
What was the director with the main?
Greta. That's the director.
Greta Gerwig is the director. Yeah.
I don't know why she's like all I think about when I think of like these kind of movies. I can't pronounce it.
All I know is I'm excited for Florence Pugh.
Ronan?
Let me see. All I know is Florence Pugh and the Saoirse Ronan. Wow, that's a weird different name. I'm excited for Florence.
Ladybird. She was the main character of Ladybird. That's why I really like her. She was also in Grand Budapest Hotel,
which I haven't seen yet. Would you give it to me?
You need to fucking watch it. It's so good. But no, I feel like Emma Watson kind of got pushed back into like just star power. Like, oh, she was in Harry Potter. We can use her to get everyone. Like Daniel Radcliffe kind of is doing a lot of weird fucking movies, trying to like just do things. Like he's not picky at all. Like Guns Akimbo. Whoa.
That was a good movie.
That was a good movie.
It was a great movie. It was like Ready Player One meets Hardcore Henry.
I didn't like people
not the Hardcore Henry first person perspective aspect of it, but just the violence.
Yeah, I just felt like a lot of people were like shitting on that movie because it was like Daniel Radcliffe like in a weird role.
That's fair.
You guys weren't expecting way too much.
No, yeah, exactly. I expected it to be like.
I expected it to be dumb.
Honestly, I expected it to be dumb too, and I was a little bit more surprised than that. But.
I just finished, Devil All the Time.
Oh yeah,
because we really haven't discussed that. We've been jumping around.
Tom
Holland does a lot of whack shit in this movie.
He does a lot more than what Spider-Man would do for sure.
Although it is pretty interesting to see Batman and Spider-Man go at it.
That's true. Let's just say Spider-Man comes out on top because he always does. Actually, no. Okay, that's the debate for another time. But
DC versus Marvel.
DC versus Marvel. Let's just go with Kick-Ass. So now that our thoughts are out about those two films and all the various other ones we talked about, let's move on to the Rainbow of films we watched during the week. So first, we're going to go off the top, but we're going to go with Cannibal Holocaust.
Okay, I expected way more out of this film than what we got.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, it was a different film than I thought, because I thought we were gonna go straight into disgusting gore. Okay, because you said it was number.
It's number 2 on IMDb's most disgusting films ever made.
Right, and so you said you watched Salo, which was number 6.
Yeah, and Salo made me actually like physically ill.
Right, and so I was expecting this one to be like, oh god, this is gonna be terrible. So I was all like sitting here ready to just want to peel my eyes out, but it was nothing happened. Like it was just like the first half of the movie was a crew trying to find
the like documentary crew that went missing.
Right, exactly.
But it was filmed like it was a movie. Like it wasn't a documentary. It was a movie.
It was a movie. Yeah, it was weird. It was almost
I thought it was gonna be like a documentary style, like found footage.
Right.
But the first half is just like an actual movie.
The second half was found footage.
Yeah,
for the most part.
And like what's shocking with it, like. Okay, so background knowledge on this film, for those of you who have no clue what Cannibal Holocaust is. This film came out in 1980. And it was so disturbing that the director got arrested. The film got taken at its premiere because they actually thought this dude killed people for this movie.
I didn't believe when you first told me. I had to look it up. I was like, that's not real. But it is.
And he had to go to court, and he had the cast sign like contract saying that they would not show themselves in public for a year to like promote the movie to like show that they actually like died. And then he had to bring them into court to prove like, hey man, I didn't actually kill these people. But as we were watching it, I was like, I can't, like, they're fake as shit anyway.
Right, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of, like, messed up stuff in there.
There's fucked up things.
Like, there's a lot of stuff in there that's, like, okay, it's not, like, your normal average viewer you don't want to see. But at the same time, it's not, like, where I'm sitting here expecting it to be, like, the most gruesome, vile thing ever. I'm just like, okay, well, this is, like, out of all things you can show me, sure. Like,
I would say the most, like, you have people, like, impaled, quote-unquote, on sticks. You have, like, rape, quote-unquote, burning things, quote-unquote. But none of it came off realistic for me. I was just like...
Right, it always came out tough, like...
I've seen this last 10 years way more than this movie's ever shown me.
Exactly.
The most fucked up things in this movie is the animal violence.
Yep, that's fair. Because that's real. Yeah, that was a little grotesque. And I just... Well, obviously, that was the only part I was just like, okay, I don't want to watch this.
Yeah, because there's like the lemur that gets gutted where he's like holding the person's hand trying to keep the knife away from him.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
Holding your hand, and he's like pushing away, and they like cut him open. Yeah, they pull the turtle out of the river,
right,
and hack his head off, and
hack his head off. That shell.
Oh yeah, and then you see his like feet kicking, and like the directors in court going like, "Well, it was a quick death."
No.
It's like, well, yeah, if his head cut off, I guess he is dead. But like, Jesus Christ!
And then
his head was still moving too, man. It was like trying to snap still. It's like, I'm so sad.
There was that monkey.
Yeah, the monkey just fucking bam, cut head off. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But that's the only shocking moments of the whole movie. Everything else, I'm like, whatever. I've seen this in like rated R horror movies all the fucking time. Like,
exactly. It wasn't anything like
Saw has done way more
worse.
Stuff
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Which just upsets me because like Salo was a pretty fucked up movie that like I was basing this off of Salo, and like now I'm like, whatever. I've seen Walkabout where they fucking killed animals and took kangaroo legs off and shit on that anyway. So like, no, this shit's different.
I do want to mention we saw it on September 12th. The day after, the 9/11 anniversary, and there's a bunch of shots of the Twin Towers.
So many shots of the Twin Towers. I like doing the whole thing when they were in New York. I was like, hey!
The Twin Towers, and I was like, okay, that was cool to be able to see the Twin Towers. Who knew it would be in a movie like this, but like...
What a weird movie to have the Twin Towers in.
But yeah, if you just want to like, just kind of feel a little nostalgic too, maybe just don't watch the movie, just look up shots of like...
There is an animal cruelty-free version.
There is. Yeah.
Which we did not watch because I was like, we're not pussies.
No, I feel like we just wanted the full experience of what they wanted.
Yeah, this is the director's vision. You always want to watch the director's vision, like those Titanic, the Snyder cut. We're finally getting.
I gave it 2 stars, and my overall consensus was: imagine Jungle Book, but if Mowgli was mentored by Hannibal Lecter instead.
Mowgli was directed. I don't know. I was really like wanting to share like a fucked up movie with my friends, and I got really disappointed. So I gave it 2.5 stars.
Like I said, 2 stars for me just means could be better. I mean, it's not like that's the worst thing I've ever seen, but this could be better.
My dog is barking. Cool.
Hi, bark. So
I basically was like, films automatically lose points to me when they kill actual animals. I hate seeing that because it's fucked up and unneeded.
That's fair.
And like I've seen Andrei Rublev where I saw horses get like their feet broken and shit like that. It's all fucked up. But I don't know. This film was just like not as bad. I just don't understand how people could think this shit was real. Like they're fucking cutting a woman open, and you can see it's just sliding on her chest. Like, it's not even going in. It's just blood, like, smearing on her chest, which, whatever.
So we watched Cannibal Holocaust, and we also watched Train to Busan.
Holy shit.
Holy motherfucker.
So good.
So good. It was really good. Okay, so just precursor for, like, my foreign films, the only foreign film I've seen before this is Parasite, which I really enjoyed.
Sad.
I know. Okay, I know that's sad, but it's true. That's the only foreign film I've seen before this, and honestly, like me with subtitles, I've never been like, okay, I don't want to watch subtitles. I'm not really worried about it. Then I watched Parasite, and I was like, okay, like I don't even realize I'm watching subtitles.
That's a sign of a really good movie.
That's my point, though. It's like if it's a really good movie, like it even earns more respect than just a regular movie for me, because not only can you tell a good story, but you also have stuff like I have to read subtitles.
And you're still engaged.
And I'm still engaged to the point where I don't even realize I'm reading subtitles.
Yeah, okay, so my first foreign film was Parasite 2. I watched that in February before the Oscars.
Sorry.
And since then, I've started watching the Criterion Channel. For those of you who don't know, it's this big boutique label where a bunch of foreign and imported kind of movies that are deemed culturally significant or whatever. You know.
He goes, oh, whatever.
Yeah, they're not always good, but I've started watching a lot of those. I've seen almost everything in the first 100 spines. But, like, I've seen a lot of foreign films now, and you can tell when a foreign film is bad when I just, like, doze off. I just don't care.
He's like,
you got things like
that's me on daily basis.
Salo, where it's just so engaging that I was just, like, so fucked up that I was, like, so paying attention that I was just like, yeah, this is amazing. Not amazing film. It's not a good film, but it's amazing what they did. Like, the fucked upness. Beauty and the Beast from 1946. That movie is fantastic. Grand Illusion is pretty fucking good. I don't know. There's a lot of.
But yeah, as far as like exactly foreign films, it's just like
it's a whole nother fucking ball.
It really is, and that's something I've started to see more. But this Train to Busan, it was just really good. Like it just kept you really engaged the whole time.
I will say the main character, like the dad, is a jackass. I didn't like him very much.
You don't like him?
Not very much.
Well, I guess he was very soft, but I think he learned his lesson by the end, though.
Yeah, by the end, after he saw so many people.
Well, but that was kind of the point. It was him like learning to do the right thing, I think.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just I didn't really like him. I liked
the kid was good.
The kid was pretty good. I saw really good actors.
There was that second dude and his wife.
Yeah, I really liked them too. I was really sad when the shit happened to them.
But yeah, honestly, it just didn't stop pulling punches. It just kept going.
No, and it was shocking.
Like once they got on the train, it was just like zoom, like just keep going.
Yeah,
keep
it was
going.
like the first 15 minutes, like we were just sitting there, like all right, cool, whatever, and then it was just like, bam, zombie bitch on train. It's like,
bam,
oh
zombie,
shit,
bam, zombie.
Then when they got off the train at that station, I was like, I thought this whole movie was gonna be on a train, and then when they got back on the train, I was like, nice, that's what I wanted.
I don't usually like zombie content or films, but this one, it was fun to watch. It was still fun to watch because it's short. But it keeps you moving. It's not like there's not like a lot of like slow grit to it, which I guess I'm just not a huge fan of. And grit, like slowness and at all really usually. But
no, and then there was that the quote unquote villain of the movie, like the business.
Dude, I hate that dude.
Fucking selfish.
I'm so mad at that. It was
like they're infected. It's like, well, obviously they're not fucking infected. They're not biting anyone. But all right, cool.
I said it was like Game of Thrones meets World War Z.
I just was like. You know, the guy was willing to like, by the end of the movie, was willing to risk his life for a complete stranger. But it took everyone dying for him to be able to be like, I'm willing to like protect people that I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
At first, he was like, he told his daughter, he was like,
see, and the reason I liked this one is because it was the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, and it's hard. It's really hard for me to like. Because I just don't like apocalyptic events. I don't think because usually those are world-ending movies I don't like either.
28 Days Later is pretty good. But it was like
I think I saw that one. Is that the one, the poster with the... No, it's Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, no, 28 Days Later was... that was a British zombie film. That's pretty good. Shaun of the Dead, which you haven't seen, is a fucking classic.
I haven't seen that.
Such a good zombie film. It's just funny. Simon Pegg's just funny.
I like
my favorite.
not iZombie. That's a TV show. What's the Will Smith one? I like that show, though. What's the Will Smith one?
I Am Legend.
I like that film.
I've seen that since a kid, so I don't really know anything.
They're asking me something. I need to watch it.
Would you watch Peninsula?
Yeah, no, I want to watch that. Only because it's the same same director, and
I'm scared because it's gonna be like apparently it's like 4 years after the event?
I'm only gonna give it a chance because I really like this one that much. That's the only reason why. Because I still don't like zombie films. I don't really care that's a foreign film at this point because if I know he can do it, and that's why I want to watch it is because I know what he did with this one. So I want to see what he can do with the new one.
I just want it to be good, but I've heard a lot of people trash it because it's not like the first one, which I'm like, well, you don't want it to be the first. Like,
no, I don't really care that it is the first one because I don't necessarily care if it's the same thing. I just want it to be something
better.
Or the same level.
Should be like
better or on the same level. It doesn't necessarily have to be as long as it's not worse though. I hate when sequels are worse because I'm just like why?
Yeah, why do we make it at that point?
Like Sam Raimi's we're talk about Spider-Man forever, but I will jump over. So I gave it a 4.
Read our reviews about on
Letterboxd. On Letterboxd, I'm at Mitch reviews. Mitch with a Y, and Bryce is at
Payne Reviews. Payne.
Right, exactly. And
then you watched one of my not all-time favorite horror movies. One of my little close to my heart horror movies. One of my first ones I ever watched.
Was that, Insidious. I did watch Insidious. I gotta admit, I've never been a huge fan of horror. I just tend to get
so sad.
I know
it's so sad.
But I'm trying to get into more, mostly just because of you.
I mean, I love horrors. That's why my whole tattoos are horror, so it just fits.
Exactly. You just have a whole sleeve of horror, and that's why I was like, okay, I feel like I gotta know what
I gotta be able to talk about it.
Exactly. And so I watched Insidious for the first time. And it was actually really good. I enjoyed it very much because it wasn't just like your standard paranormal activity, and that's kind of why I just assumed it was.
Ghost films are really hard, man. Because some ghost films really oversell that spectral aspect.
But I like the fact that they kind of delved into
their
world, and it was more than just like. You can't, it was like they could actually fight them. Like they could actually do something.
They go back there and they can actually physically.
And that's why I really enjoyed this film because they're ghosts, but they still gave you an avenue to do something. Because usually, when an exorcist shows up, that's kind of where it
Conjuring.
ends. That's usually where it ends. It's like the exorcist shows up, and there's also a movie called The Exorcist, I
haven't seen that.
I haven't either. But you get the point. It's like something shows up, and then
they get the priest.
They get the priest, but then they die or something like that, and they're like, I'm out of here.
The priest gets injured
I can't
or
do
whatever,
this.
And then there's they put fucking Bible paper on the walls or whatever.
Yeah, and a cool note that I'm excited to see the next one. So.
You're gonna be really disappointed with the second.
I'm sure I probably will be, but
if I had to rank it, it'd probably be 1, 4, 3, 2. I don't really like the second one at all. Also, the timeline jumps around all over the fucking place after the second one. So
I know you watched a film that I haven't watched, but what was that one again? I forgot.
You forgot? Oh god, dude, I've watched so many movies.
It was an older film. I'm pretty sure.
13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts. There, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I'm not talking about the 13 Ghosts from 2000. I don't like that movie. That movie sucks. The only good part about that movie is Matthew Lillard. That's it. That's all that's good. I don't know why people like that movie. The movie's garbage. My wife and I watched that last night. I didn't like it. We watched the 1960s 13 Ghosts by William Castle. Holy shit, this director was so good. It's not I won't say good as it's like the best movie ever made. But it was so unique.
So since I don't know anything about it, you should start selling me on why I should watch this movie.
Well, you don't watch old movies, so that's hard.
No, I don't. But yes, I generally don't like old movies, but that is not saying that there can't be some good ones. So if I was would you recommend this to me? I guess would you say?
Do you have 3D glasses?
Oh yeah, is that the one you were telling me about? Okay, so honestly, I would be interested in check. You should tell them because I would be interested in checking this out only because of that aspect.
Okay, so William Castle was a director in the 1960s who did a lot of horror movies, but they were gimmick horror movies, and I love this. So he would get skeletons and put them in theaters to sweep down the audience during certain parts of movies. He would oh god, I'm just gonna talk about 13 Ghosts because that's one of my favorite gimmick things.
Sure.
But Mr. Sardonicus is another movie he did where apparently he pretended people had to vote what happened at the end of the movie, which they don't, but he made it seem like they do, and that's the kind of shit he did. So in 13 Ghosts, it starts off with well, do you believe in ghosts? So if you do, you have these nice little ghost viewers, and they handed these people in the theaters in 1960 these little cardboard ghost viewers with a turquoise colored blue film and red film. So if you believed in ghosts, you look through the red film. If you didn't believe in ghosts, you look through the blue film. But it was only in certain parts of the movie where it was blue. The screen would turn blue. And so throughout the film, there'd be sections that would come on, like there'd be like in the kitchen, and there would be like the screen would do blue, and it would be like put on your viewers now, and then you like put your up, and it would work with like I had these old 3D glasses with like the red and green, like it's green not blue, but it worked. But like when you look through the red, and the ghosts would be more vibrant because they'd be red colored. But if you look through the blue side, no, mine's green, so it didn't really work. But if you look through the green, they would disappear. Well, blue, but you know,
right? Yeah,
they would go away, so you wouldn't see them.
That's such a weird concept to be able, because like that sounds like was that like kind of sort of the first use of 3D glasses?
No, because 3D is around since like the 30s, roughly. Like they were doing 3D.
Okay, I'll be honest with you. The first time I actually remember 3D being a real thing was with Jaws.
It didn't really get popular until like the 70s or 80s, but they were experimenting it with like the 30s and the 40s.
But that just sounds cool. I didn't even know it was around until then, because I thought Jaws was just the first one to have something like that in there.
Yeah, it was like it's a rough aspect. Like it'd be 3D, quote unquote, but it really wouldn't be like the 3D we know of as 3D.
That's fair.
But like, yeah, so 13 Ghosts is about this guy who inherits this house from his uncle, who he thought he had died years ago, like gone, doesn't exist. So he would like inherit this house, and he and his family are in rough times. They're like all their stuff's been repossessed. Their house is basically empty, and their son has a birthday, and he wishes that they would be able to get a house with full furnishing. Well, the next day, of course, because 1960s movie, the lawyer showed up, was like, "Hey, man, you inherited this house." And so they go in, it's fully furnished, but he tells them, he's like, "Yeah, but you inherit the 13 ghosts that they're inside the house too." And they're like, "Ghost? No,
they're ghosts, man. That's not real.
Ghosts
dude. There's ghosts in here.
Ghosts don't exist." So they go in this house, and they start doing their daily lives, right? Well, then things start happening. Like salt would be spilled. The son starts telling them, like, "Yeah, man, I went downstairs and
Sorry, you said salt.
I went downstairs and I spent this lion tamer and this lion." And their parents are like, "The fuck?" But the side thing is, hidden in this house is apparently their uncle's fortune.
Oh.
So the lawyer is trying to find the fortune. So the son,
like a kilo of cocaine right next to the cure for blindness. Good luck finding it.
But the son, he slides down the banister, and when he slides down, money appears, and he's like, "Whoa, so weird, right? Like, I just got $200." Which in 1960
is a lot of money.
A lot of money. So the lawyer's like, "Where'd you get that money, boy?" And he's like, "I found it." He's like, what were you doing when you found it?" I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "You want to make a deal?" And they start the lawyer basically like, "Hey man, you help me find the money and we can give it to your parents." All I'm like, "I'm gonna take this money for myself." Lawyer being all tricky.
Makes sense.
And basically they basically get rid of the lawyer. I forget what they do.
Yeah. Well, what did you end up? What did you end up giving it?
4 stars.
Okay, that's fair. I like that interactive. I do too. I like that interactive aspect of it that you can just
Yeah, he did that in a lot of his films, which I just wanted to watch this because everyone today is like 13 Ghosts is so good, but they're talking about the 2001.
But does it have any correlation to that one?
None. It's just a remake. But I don't think anyone knows it's a remake of this 1960 film.
Wow.
So everyone just goes in there like, "Oh yeah, it's this," and it's a cool concept.
Further proving that most of Hollywood just remakes, reboots, and
it's so sad.
Okay, I don't mind that much, but because I like seeing. Okay, so I don't mind that much. I think I'm in the minority of my opinions, but I like seeing new iterations of stuff. So
it depends on what it's about, because I wouldn't want to see a new iteration of Wizard of Oz or Gone with the Wind.
No, but that's I've never seen Gone with the Wind, but
those are masterpiece classics. You can't improve those.
Yeah, well, also you can't improve them, but also it's just kind of what new interpretation are you going to bring to it? If you could bring a new interpretation to it, that it was is this something that
we've seen new iterations of classic films?
We have
The Karate Kid.
Oh yeah, Will Smith. That's not that great. But I can't. I'm not really sure of other ones that I can't think of that. But I just like seeing new iterations. What I always bring it back to is Spider-Man. Just because I like because
each new actor brings their own
flavor and flair and exactly. And that's one of the.
Did his own thing with it and made his own character version, even though it wasn't really well received.
Fair, yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it was well received at first, but then the second one wasn't. Well, no, it wasn't even him. It was just the fact that
the writing sucked.
The writing sucked. They tried to make too much about building a universe without remembering exactly without remembering to create a good movie first.
But I really liked the original 13 Ghosts. It surprised me how much I really liked it.
Okay.
God, I forget what. Let me see what I wrote about it. I rated a lot of shit since then.
Yeah, it definitely seems like something I'd want to check out. If nothing more than just because of that that 3D aspect of it.
A long time ago. Okay, it was my first William Castle movie, and the dude was ahead of his time, man. He really was. With the gimmicks and this, I mean, it was a lighthearted horror film that had pretty cool effects for 1960. It was a fun movie, and it has a really weird villain. Like the villain's not really a villain; he's just a greasy man. But it's such a cute little horror film. Like I'm gonna do quote unquote horror. It's really not scary. It's a fun little Halloween film to watch.
It's like one of those just like quote unquote horror movies, but like just like Halloween Town. No, just kidding.
You know what is a really cute horror movie?
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat.
Okay, we'll talk about that eventually. Cause I will watch that, and I'm going to talk about that at some point because
we'll wait talk about that because it's so cute. I
want to watch that at some point because I'm going to get it soon and watch it because because I don't know why. Just your
Sam was just so
Sam.
cute.
Yeah, I don't know that. Just you sent me that, and I was like, bro, that seemed like awesome. And you told me he killed somebody with a sucker, and I was like, I'm down. I need to watch this. I don't know.
So fucking cute, man. Like we were just like my wife and I were just sitting in bed. We're like, what the fuck is this dude?
I need to watch this. I just started rewatching the X-Men series, and I'm trying to get through all of them again.
Are you rewatching the Mutants?
Well, I mean, no, I'm not going to go to the theater to watch New Mutants again, no. But, because I already saw it twice.
2 times is enough?
I already saw it twice, which is not... Well, it's not bad, but it's not very great.
Yeah, it's. I think people just had their hopes up too much. And
it's on par with Dark Phoenix for me.
They thought it was going to be like a movie in production for 3 years.
But okay, I don't know what it is about X-Men for me, but like nothing is bad. Like I know Dark Phoenix is like not good. I know New Mutants is not that great, but like I still love them. And
it's like, when I rewatched The Last Stand with my wife because she had never seen the X-Men series before last year. We were like watching it, and I was like, I don't know what it is. I know Last Stand sucks, but man, I'm really having a fun time.
That's like what like I said, I just watched X-Men again.
No, Apocalypse though, I don't have a good time.
Ooh, yeah, that one might be a little bit lower than that, but I'll have to watch it again. As I watch it again, I'll update you. But X-Men, the first one, I don't know why. I just like the whole dichotomy of that. They're both like that. Professor Xavier and Charles and what's the other guy's name? Magneto. Jeez, my brain's not working right now.
Yeah, their friendship is so real.
I like it because like they're on the same side, but they're just approaching it differently, and that's why they're enemies. Like they're like we're both trying to fight for the same thing, but like I'm doing it this way, you're doing it that way.
It's a playful banner. It's not like they're hating each other. They're just like, I don't agree with your way, you don't agree with mine. We'll just see who gets there first.
And I also like that it builds this entire like universe around one character, Wolverine, because really it just follows Wolverine.
It's really not about Wolverine.
It's not, but they very much follow him through it.
They know what they had with Hugh Jackman, man. Like right away, they were like, he's got to be the center.
You know what I noticed watching this again is that Wolverine began for the most with Rogue. You know, him taking care of Rogue, and he ended with taking care of a little girl.
Oh man, that's it. Oh my god!
I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. I didn't realize that. I know. And he ended up in a camper riding with a little girl, you know, and he just kind of being like all rough and gruff, and then he learned.
God damn it!
And then he just like pile drives into the ground, like just in Logan, going back to. I haven't watched it again, but he just kind of like took a reverse character turn, you know.
It made me want to rewatch it because I've only rewatched it.
I know, I didn't realize. No. I was just like, I didn't really like the whole thing of the governor and him being like a mutant, or I guess I never even realized what Magneto was doing. He wasn't even because I just always assumed he was like doing some like evil thing, but it's like he was just trying to turn people into mutants, and I was like, is that really a bad thing? I was like, I want to be a mutant, so I was just like,
but like he's doing it forcibly. But I also like I
get it, like why they're stopping him, but at the same time, I'm also like, but he's not doing a bad thing, like he's giving everybody powers.
He doesn't understand that they were being killed either. Like he didn't realize that like the dude died when they were told they're like he's dead.
Fair.
He's like, I don't know.
That's fair.
I don't know. Like you're just lying to me.
He's not. Yeah, he's not. He should be exactly. But that's the fact I like though. He's still trying to do what he thinks is the right thing, and that's why I love that character so much.
I really love the X-Men because it originated in like the '60s, right? Mm-hmm. During like the Civil Rights movement. It was basically just like Marvel's way of being like, yo.
Well, see, okay, now
like everyone's equal.
Speaking of that, how is that going to be well, I mean, we're not going to even be able to get close to guess, but just in the MCU, how are they going to bring that in? Because they haven't been established.
Is in Humans because they're bringing in like Miss Marvel and stuff.
I don't like Inhumans.
Disney Plus. But
I don't know why I don't like Inhumans.
X-Men are basically the same fucking thing.
They are, but like, I don't know why. Okay, okay, here's the thing. So. Inhumans are transformed through Terrigenesis. Like they're altered later.
Alien DNA.
They're altered through alien DNA, but X-Men is that they just as
they're
humans
born that way.
their genes evolved and they become a mutant.
But they're almost like the exact same thing, which I think is going to confuse a lot of.
They are. They are. It's like a small detail you have to kind of like.
But then Miss Marvel's going to be at like Captain Marvel 2, which is confirmed. Like that's where her debut is going to be.
Didn't they cancel the Inhumans movie though?
The Inhumans movie's not happening.
Right, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Miss Marvel is getting her own Disney Plus show.
Is Miss Marvel Inhuman?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So she's going to be.
They could just make her not Inhuman.
No, I wouldn't like that. Not only that, but that she's the first Muslim Marvel character. Like,
well, they could. Oh yeah, they sure shouldn't change that.
They should just like keep her the way she is because they want to bring Inhumans into it anyway because Inhumans are such a big fucking deal. But my issue with the Inhumans is like.
Okay, I'll be honest. I played the demo for Avengers, but I don't like her.
I don't like her in the Avengers game either. She's like every single time she sees like a shield or something, I'm like, oh, it's Captain America's shield. She's like, oh, it's Captain America's shield.
It's like,
that's me. I want to be the one to do
right,
it.
exactly.
I don't want to be the one to do it. I want to be the one.
Plus, it's just the way she does it. It's just a little corny, like too corny.
It's too much like. I'm an immature person. Like you're like
but I'm an immature person.
Like you're at least 12.
Right.
In the game happens, you're at least 16. You really shouldn't be like jumping up and down when you see like Iron Man's repulsor glove after biting into a fucking building. Like that doesn't make sense.
Fair. But yeah, I mean, just overall, I think I gave it 4 stars. I think it's a 3 out of 5 movie, a good movie, but I gave it a great movie or 4 out of 5 because
it's nostalgic, man.
Yeah, just very much nostalgic.
I gave it a 4-star too. I'm pretty fucking sure I gave it 4 stars because I was like
just nostalgia. Exactly. It's just so good, and then everything with Rogue, and then her trying to like not to touch people, but then even as that evolves,
3.5.
3.5. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean you get half there for nostalgia. Yeah. Sweet. Well, so what is your second film that you wanted to bring up? Do you remember?
It's gonna be Trick or Treat, but you don't want to talk about it, so it's fine.
I mean, you can talk about it as long as you don't spoil it. I don't want to spoil
anything. It's fine. It's fine. Because I'll end up spoiling it if I talk about it, and I'd rather just like talk about it next time.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it. Okay, well, I'll make sure.
You don't have to watch it by next week, but like we'll bring it up during October.
That's gonna be a fun month.
It's Spookween.
Spookween, exactly. I'm gonna try to watch a lot of horror movies in October there. So, well,
we've been talking for at least like an hour now, right?
Yeah, we have been. We definitely have been. So, with that being said, with our thoughts on random weekly movies in the Nexus, we move on to next week's movies. Since every week we watch a film before recording the podcast, we thought it would be fun to switch off and on who picks the movie for that week and announce it for the first time. Right now is me, Mytchel. I'm starting this tradition out by picking the film for next week. So I picked, because you have not seen anything in the franchise, and I was shocked by this, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I own them, so that's fine. I just haven't watched them yet.
That's fair. Okay, so I don't think I watched the first few Mission Impossibles, and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol was the first one I watched in the theaters, and I was like, let's go. Like,
all I know about it is Tom Cruise does his own stunts, and that's literally all I got.
He does his own stunts, and I thought he's weird.
Simon Pegg's in it. I love him.
Simon Pegg's really good in this too. Yeah, and
I love him. He's like one of my favorite.
I really like that Mission Impossible movie, and it cut because I think that's because they did 2 more after that. It was Fallout and Rogue Nation. It was Rogue Nation, then Fallout.
I was pretty sure Fallout's last.
Right,
I was like starting to be like, do I not have them all? Because I know I have Fallout.
And then there's one like I think Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol was the 6th one.
Oh my god, there's too fucking many.
But I haven't watched the first 5, so I'm not too worried about it. I just know like 6th one is really good, and then that's where I started watching it, and that's where I feel like would be a good place for that, just because I know it's really good. So.
All right, I'm good with that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us as we talked movie news, shared our thoughts on Tenet.
Got really off tangent
on a lot of topics, and delved into our weekly movie watches. Be sure to follow us and turn on notifications to get updates every time we post.
We're going to be on Spotify, Stitcher, trying to get on iTunes. I really don't know how to do that because I don't use iTunes, but I'm going to try.
We'll get as many places as we can. You can stay connected with Bryce Payne by following him at
Payne Reviews on Letterboxd. I really don't use much other social media right now.
That's fair. Yeah, Letterboxd is a great way to connect with us. You can comment on all our reviews.
You can see how many I watch. I think my average per month right now is 60 films.
Wow, that's a lot. I can't pump it up to those numbers. Those are I'm at very rookie numbers, but I'm trying. And I'm at Mytch Reviews again. That's Mytch with a Y, so MYTCH reviews. And you can connect with me also if you want on Facebook and Instagram at author Mytchel Chandler and on Twitter at Mytchel Chandler.
Way more things than I do.
I know. I'm sorry.
I am not.
I do other things. But I'm also an author, so that's the thing. Remember, like Mytchel spelled with Mytchel.
Pain is spelled with a Y instead of an I. And it's an E.
It's a pain. It's pain.
More elegant. No.
Well, that's all for this week, our fellow cinephiles, and until next time, Excelsior!